There we go. Anna usually reminds me to do that. This is the Town of Lunenburg Open Space Ad Hoc Committee, our meeting of Wednesday, January 10th. I'm Mike Toohill. I'm the chair. It is 7:37. We're going to be calling this meeting to order. We have Eric Hines, Matthew Allison, Mary Wilson, and myself. So we have a quorum tonight. We are anticipating Anna Lockwood joining us. I'm not sure about Brandon Kibbe. Those are the other two members of the committee. In accordance with Governor Healy's extension of the right to do open meetings through remote sessions, we are holding this meeting on Zoom. And it's also on the Lunenburg Public Access channel and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page. And then in 24 hours, it will also be on the Lunenburg YouTube channel. This is, those of you that are in here already know this is Zoom meeting number 8783-8755-343. We're going to go through some committee business first. And then I know we have a number of residents that are on tonight. We'll obviously going to give you a chance to speak. That's later on in the agenda. I think we have a fairly short agenda tonight. We're going to jump right into it. So I've called the meeting to order. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at the minutes from the October 25th, 23 meeting. I did distribute those to all the members. Have you guys had a chance to look at those?
I
Yes,
have.
Eric's shaking his head. Mary's okay. Matthew will be back in a second. Have you had a chance to look at the minutes, Matthew?
Have not, but honestly, I seldom do. So
And it's okay because the October meeting is when you had the technical troubles.
all right.
So I know you can probably vote on it. You don't have to. We can have the three of us review and vote on the minutes from that meeting. Brandon put them together. I did some editing with him. So do I have a motion, or is anybody having changes to the minutes, first of all?
I do
Nothing?
not.
Okay,
I would-
Mary, you're good?
Yeah, I would move that we accept them as distributed.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Eric. The motion's been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call since we're on Zoom. Eric,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Matthew, you can vote or abstain, whatever you like.
Aye. Thank you.
And the chair votes aye. So we voted to accept those minutes. The second part of this agenda item, it didn't get put into the agenda that got sent out to us, unfortunately. But there was a request from the assistant town clerk for us to go back through our records and take a look at past meetings. She said she's missing minutes from several past meetings. So I did that. I went through my records. I do have the minutes from the 2023 April, May, and now October meetings. We did not have a meeting in March, in June, or July. I also have the minutes from the September 2022 meeting, but there are other meetings in 2021 and 2022. I think I sent everybody a list of those meetings. I don't know whether anyone's had a chance to take a look through their records and see if they can recall whether we had. I know a bunch of these meetings, we actually didn't have a quorum, so we didn't actually have a meeting, but I need to be able to tell. I got somebody coming in, bear with me. I need to be able to tell the assistant town clerk what's going on with those. If you haven't had a chance, if you have, first of all, let me know now if you've had a chance to take a look at those and if you have any additions to my records. Nothing?
I've not had a
Okay.
chance. Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask you guys to do that. I can send it out again, just make sure everybody's got it. Just trying to keep the record clean. So I will do that. I will send Ellen Griffin's email out again. Just take a look back to your calendar and see if you have a record of a meeting. If you have any, I don't have any other minutes other than the ones I mentioned. So I have forwarded those to town clerk, so she has all the ones that I have. Okay, so just so you know, we need to do that if we can. I'm gonna slide one other quick thing in here. I've got an annual report that I'm gonna put together and send over to town clerk as well. So that's kind of takes care of the town clerk business under item number 2. Item number 3 is a discussion item for the board members about attending the Board of Selectmen, Select Board, excuse me, meeting next week on the 16th. I was wondering if any of you wanted to go to that meeting. If we're going to have a quorum of our board, we have to have it posted as a joint meeting between the ad hoc committee and the select board. If it's just going to be a couple of us, it's fine. Just a couple of us can go. So I didn't know whether any of you had interest in going to that meeting. Matthew, I think you already responded to me about that.
I would be interested in going to that meeting.
You would, okay. Eric?
I'm not currently available at that time.
Okay,
But if it's,
that's okay. Really, it could be just one of us going, I plan on going. I'll have to talk to Brandon and Anna. If Mary, Brandon, Anna and I are gonna go, it's a quorum and they'll have to post it as a meeting. So we'll talk to Anna when she logs on tonight, and I'll text Brandon and find out what his plans are. Just so we stay clear of open meeting. And so that's a discussion with the select board about the motion that we made at the last meeting to turn care and control of the Parmenter Road and the Reservoir Road parcels, Fire Road 12 parcel, over to Parks Commission. So the select board has asked that we come and just discuss that item with them, because I believe that has to go to town meeting as well. So the select board asked us to come to a meeting, so we're on for the 16th to go discuss our recommendation to the select board. That's all I have on that particular item. Anybody else need to chime in on that? Okay. The next 2 items should have been one item. It should be reports from open space committee members or committee comments and concerns. A lot of times Anna will bring something in from Parks Department. Matthew occasionally brings something in from the planning board. Mary brings something in from conservation. So I didn't know whether any of you had anything to bring forth to the open space committee about activities on your boards that might affect open space.
I
Thank you,
have a
Chick.
couple of things that
Go
I
ahead,
can
Mary.
socialize.
Yep.
Yeah, so in the Conservation Commission, we have 2 grants that are being worked on conservation lands. I try to socialize this, so I a little bit feel like a broken record, but I'm not certain how much I've socialized it here. So there's a Lunenburg Snow Riders sponsored grant that was awarded in 2022 that covers a handful of projects across conservation lands, and of course, all that's been approved through conservation, and that's actively being worked. The snow riders went in and added gravel, at the request of the Conservation Commission, along some trails in the Lane Conservation property. The next project that they're going to undertake is Small Town Forest, doing some trail improvements up there. So there's a lot of areas up there that have gotten overgrown. And then some stump grinding activities too, because the trails on the north end of the Small Town Forest is kind of in rough shape. So that'll be undertaken as soon as the weather will allow us. We were going to do it last weekend as well, but the snow got in the way. And then there's a Conservation Commission sponsored grant that was awarded in 2023. And that is to fund engineered drawings to add parking areas in 3 conservation areas to make those areas, more accessible, more safely accessible. And one of those engineering projects or drawing projects is to look at the Harold Harley wildlife viewing area, which is a section of the Cowdrey Conservation Area. Look at the access road there. Years ago, the Lunenburg Snow Riders actually built a ADA compliant wildlife viewing platform over that basin that's that outflow of Hickory Hills Lake, but it's not accessible almost 12 months out of the year right now because the access road is underwater. And so the goal is to hire a consultant who can do the drawing so that then we can, over the next several years, ask for grant sponsorship, as we get the approvals with the various boards and the various authorities having jurisdiction to get those improvements put in place. So that's those that work is currently right now, actually, for the one that was sponsored by the Conservation Commission. We've signed all the documentation. We've done all the submittals. As you go through these grants, you have to do the submission. And then if you're fortunate, right, and did a good job, you get the award. Once you do the award, then you have to go through the initiation and contracting process. We've now been through all of that with the state, submitted all the documentation, submitted all the initiation documentation. So we're just waiting on the executed grant contract to come back to us. So then we can start the, our own contractor selection to, hire an engineering consultant to do that work for us. So that's ongoing with the Conservation Commission. And then we still are actively looking for volunteers. We have a number of people that have been coming and volunteering to continue doing our trail improvements with adding trail markers out there. We're still finishing up some areas doing the intersection signs that actually have a metal placard that show where you are in the trail system at each of those intersection signs. So we're still, working with volunteers to do that work. And this year, the National Honor Society at the high school has been good about pointing their students towards conservation. And we've had a number of volunteers, including one group event from the National Honor Society. So we're really fortunate and thankful for that as well. Anna and I last year partnered to do a Earth Days event series of events through the month of April. And that was a joint venture between Conservation and Parks. She and I are pretty much buried right about now, but we're hoping that maybe we can solicit some volunteers from the community that may be willing to put together a work group to further that effort and do something similar this upcoming April. And we just now are starting to have that conversation and starting to, brainstorm around that. So if anybody has any ideas or wants to participate, please contact me because we would love to have that type of event be an annual event here in Lunenburg. And that's all for me.
I have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
First question is the trails that I know that a lot of the trails have been mapped and marked. And that was done using GPS and GIS. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So is there a QR code link at the like the trailheads
No,
or something that
we
would
don't
link us
currently
to the
have
map?
that. I would like that, but we don't currently have that. That's an opportunity for improvement.
Okay. Just curious. I mean, it's fun to get out there and you can QR code it and hit it because a lot of these things are not in any of the Trails apps, Okay.
Right.
And then the second question is that road that you're working on for accessibility to the platform,
Mhm.
is that in the floodplain?
It is, yes.
Okay, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It's in the floodplain. It's also endangered species habitat. So it's got a lot of protections there, and we may not be able to, pull it off.
okay,
But that's, that's the reason why we want to hire, hire a professional, get the analysis done, see what options we might have, and see what we can, if anything, get approvals for.
okay. Thank you. I see Anna's join us. Maybe?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry
There
about
you,
that.
that's okay. There you are.
Yeah.
I want to double back and ask you a couple of questions. We went over, I had sent out a request from Ellen Griffin, the assistant town clerk, about 2021 and 2022 meetings and whether or not we had meetings and if we had minutes. And I'll ask you to do the same. I've asked these guys to do is go back through your calendar and see if you can reconstruct and tell me whether or not we actually had meetings on these dates, and then we'll figure out who might have been taking the minutes, because I don't have minutes from a lot of these dates.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
can
send
do
that
that.
list back out.
All right. I'm not sure. I think I joined this committee in 2022, in 2023 even. So I'm not sure I'll have anything for 21.
Yeah, and I don't either. You actually had minutes that you did in September of 22. So I know you were around in September of 22. And so
Yeah.
subsequent to that, we had a November and December dates. I don't recall if we actually had meetings. I suspect we did not have meetings on those dates, but we'll go back and try to figure that out. The second thing is, Anna, we've been asked to go to the Board of Selectmen's meeting on the 16th. Next week.
Yes.
And I wanted to know whether or not you wanted to go to that meeting.
I do. And tomorrow, not tomorrow, but and I was actually thinking if we should invite, if it's okay to invite other parks commissioners. And maybe
You can
even
invite
be a
whoever you
three-way.
want. You can invite whoever you want. My question is because if we have four of us going right now, we have you, Mary, me, maybe Brandon. If we have four of us going, Matthew, I suspect you're not going to go. Is that correct? You're muted. There you go.
May be there, I may be there for that, I may be there for some other things, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Say as citizen, I don't think it's a big, huge deal, but, something to think about.
I think then, to be safe, what I'm going to do is ask Heather to post it as a joint meeting, because if we have four or more of us on it going to that meeting, it's technically a meeting of the Open Space Committee.
Right.
And so bear that in mind when you invite other park commissioners as well.
Yeah. And but since the recommendation is for parks to take over, I feel like perhaps it would be good for us to show that and support that.
Yes.
And as a side note too, I took the action of reaching out to Paula Bertrand because she had done a lot of work regarding this, the initial research, and she said she will likely join us. I mean,
Good.
she's just a resident, but I'm also going to meet with her on next Tuesday at 3 p.m. at the library. She's going to go over with me some of the information that she has, but she might be coming to that meeting because I thought she'll be a good resource because she did a lot of the work on which properties we have and which ones are the most ideal for access to Lake Shirley.
Mhm.
And she agreed to it, so I appreciate her.
Okay.
Um,
That's great.
and I hope that was okay with you, Mike.
Oh, no, that's fine. And I'm glad you thought of that. She was very active on this committee and did a lot of the background research. And then when we did the title work, it came up saying essentially what Paula found out for us. So that's
Right.
great. I'm glad she's going.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other material? Any other comments or questions or stuff from the committee members? We're down to the committee comments, concerns part of the agenda. We've already
Um,
heard from Mariana. Do you have anything?
You know, I'm sorry, I was at the Water Commission meeting, Water District meeting. For the meeting with the select board, do we have a plan on who's presenting, who will lead the conversation?
No, I was trying to get a sense of who, I mean, I knew I was going, but I didn't know if anybody else was going. So now that I do, I'll circulate out an email to you folks. And I think it's mostly going to be, just reiterating what our motion was, and then actually probably asking the select board, to go ahead and ask us questions. I mean,
Okay.
I'd like to give them a brief history of what this committee has done over the years with regard to researching these parcels and conversations that I've had with town council, conversations we've had with the residents out there. We
Right.
had a number of the residents right before you joined us. We had a number of the residents on the call. Most of them have dropped. We still have a couple people, which we'll give you a chance in just a second, Alex and Jay, to tell us, if you want to say anything. So I suspect we'll have residents at that meeting as well.
Okay,
All right.
that's
I'll ask Heather to post it. I
okay.
think
That's great.
I think that's probably the safest thing to do.
Definitely.
I just let somebody else in. Okay, if the committee members are all done, it's time for public comment. Please raise your hand if you'd like to speak. I see a Jay and Alex, and Melissa McCarthy is joining us. Do any of the three of you want to? Jay, please unmute Jay. There you go.
Hello,
Hello.
good evening.
Good evening.
I've been following some of your
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you for a second. I've already said it, but can you say your name and your address for the
Absolutely.
record?
Jay Simeone, 362 Sunset Lane. I live on Lake Shirley.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to say I've been following some of your meetings and some of the Parks Commission meetings, and I'm just, for the record, I'm opposed to the Parks Commission taking over any additional land on Lake Shirley. I'm not in favor of, uncontrolled or unmonitored access, additional public access to Lake Shirley. I think it'd be detrimental to the lake more than a benefit. I know there's limited public access at the Zero Reservoir Road,
Right.
walk-in access there. But, Lake Shirley is, approximately 160, 170 tax-paying residents voluntarily support maintenance of the lake. And there's also been a significant tax increase to residents on all waterfront properties in town. So I would prefer the land remain as general municipal land as it presently is. That's my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and Jay, obviously the public is invited to come to the Board of Selectmen meeting as well, so. Okay, thank you for your comments. Melissa, Alex, or Michael, do any of the three of you want to speak? Please raise your hand if you do. Okay, no one did raise their hand, so I presume that means that we're done with public comment. Next item on the agenda is the current upcoming meeting schedule.
I don't know how to raise my hand.
Oh, well, okay, I'm sorry, Alex. Could you state your name and address, please?
Hi, actually, it's his wife. My name is Deborah Yower. I live at 226 Sunset Lane on Lake Shirley. And for the record, I would just like to note my opposition for reasons of public safety, maintenance of the lake, and support concerns for increased problems with the lake, handicap access, traffic problems, conservation issues, and just overall nothing being monitored for what people are bringing in terms of weeds and that sort of thing. It needs to be monitored, and there's going to be trash that needs to be considered. There needs to be parking that's safe. If people have trailers and cars, is there going to be enough room for that? So just as a note, I'd like to express my opposition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. We've heard a lot of these comments and concerns before. And just to be clear, what this committee has done is made a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen that these 2 parcels be given over to the care and control of the Parks Department. We are not proposing any kind of specific use for these parcels other than to turn it over to the Parks Department, and then the Parks Board will have discussions about the appropriate use of the parcels. That's where we are on this. Okay. Michael or Melissa, would you like to say anything? No, I guess we're all set. Okay,
No,
so
sorry, it's Melissa McCarthy, but sorry, Stephen Batone is actually the one speaking, so it has my name, but it's actually Stephen Batone.
and what's the address, please?
18 Oak Ridge Road.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we're all set now. Let's go back to the next agenda item, which is the upcoming meeting schedule for this committee. I have 2 dates, Valentine's Day, the 14th, which for better for worse works for me, but I want to know whether or not other.
I'm away that week.
Okay, you're away that week, Anna?
I'm available for
Okay,
better or worse.
Eric, Matt?
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm fine with that.
Okay. So let's keep it on the 14th. We'll see whether or not we have, enough agenda items to warrant having a meeting as usual. And then the one after that is the 13th of March. So just to keep those 2 dates in mind. So we're keeping to the second Tuesday schedule right now.
Wednesday.
Excuse me, Wednesday. Yeah. I'm off a day here. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
Nothing for me.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion
So
to
moved.
adjourn.
Second.
There we go.
Anna made the motion, Mary seconded. Okay, thank you, Eric, for taking the notes for us. I'm gonna do roll call again. Eric,
Aye.
Matthew, Anna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for joining, all of you, including the residents. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you,
Bye.
Mike.